Today is Sunday, April 16th, 2023, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. And it's Sultan Ali, also known as Brennan Whitehead. And let me just record this for history and for comparison purposes so I can look at this every year and see if it's about the same. So today's really the first day of the year that I officially walk out and really notice this. Now, I've been out every day, and it's probably been like this for about a week, maybe a little less. But yeah, all the trees really look full. Even the oak trees, the maple trees have been kind of full. Like, their leaves are really starting to grow in now. They look about normal size. This area looks like it would during the summertime. There's a few trees, that one might be dead, but there's a few trees that still look kind of bare, like that one over there, that could get some more leaves maybe. But really, the maples and the oaks, some of the last trees to look full. The maples start kind of blooming this year in early March. Maybe even late February, some of them near brick walls. Because I went to Mikey's funeral in early February, I believe. Yes, early February. And there was some maple trees blooming then. 100% there were some. They were by brick walls. But look at this. The oak leaves aren't small anymore. They're really filled in. They look like the size an oak leaf would be. They're not tiny ones anymore. So they're really starting to fill in. It's hard to see for the tree. It's a screen. You get that rainforest look. It's actually dark and shaded in these woods in here. And even though it's 1:30 in the afternoon, sure, it's a bit cloudy and overcast, but like, it's surprisingly dark and shady in there, especially compared to how bright it is out here. It looks a little more dark in there. The camera's not picking it up. It's just a bit of shade from the forest. During the winter, it's so bright in there, even though the sun's at a lower angle, just because there's so much less leaves on all these deciduous trees. There's only the loblolly pine and the slash pine and the longleaf pine that stay green as in the canopy. Things are blooming. This thing right here that produces those purple and red berries, it's got the blooms again just like last year. And they're really filled out now. It's probably been blooming for as much as a week, but now all the blooms are starting to go off and you can really tell it's blooming. Let's go in here and take a look at some other things. Okay, first of all, look at this thing that's blooming. That's probably blackberry or raspberry. Alhamdulillah, fruit is being made and it's on the way. Those are the blooms. If they get pollinated, they'll be edible fruit. These plants that are from India and Pakistan, I forget what they're called. They get the beautiful flowers that attract loads and loads of swallowtail butterfly. They're starting to get their leaves. Then there's this thing right here. I remember seeing this last year when there were bugs on it. There were bugs doing what we call devil's tango, and I was doing photography of the bugs. I guess that's kind of weird, but I just like making nature documentary. And I remember looking at these leaves that they were on thinking, it's weird, the stem is kind of flat. Look at it from a side angle, and it's super more thin. It's hard for the camera to show, but this stem is like flat. But yep, the daffodils are done blooming and people cut off their blooms. So it just looks like onions or something's there now. You only see the leaves. But they're still there. This is mid-April. I don't think in a week or two it's gonna be any different. So yeah, in early June there will still be daffodil leaves. At least on these wild ones. The English ivy's putting on a lot of new growth. And I'm really not liking that. Also, a lot of the Spanish moss has been stolen by poachers or blown away by storms, or maybe a combination of both. There's some Spanish moss right there. If I can get the camera to focus on it, that would be nice. There. But all the Spanish moss on some of these other branches are gone. And there used to be more on this branch, but now it's gone. Now we got some new leaves coming here. Can't wait to check next year and see just how much this grew. Let me wipe up the camera. There you guys go. Maybe you can see better. Okay, so here's this thorny vine I pruned and cut back a bit. And there was some Spanish moss on this thorny vine here. Somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. This is all new growth, if I'm not mistaken. That's crazy, bro. You know, just like 6 weeks ago or less possibly, there was chances of frost overnight. It was unusually cold this year, but stuff's growing, man. I'm looking, trying to find the Spanish moss that was here. I can't see it, so something might have happened to it as well. I'm also seeing some blooms. There's some flowers. Let's get a look at that. I didn't know this thing bloomed, but I mean, it's got to produce seeds somehow, so look at that. Wow, mashallah. That might be the cat briar that's tangled in with it, or it might be the plant itself. I don't know. I wonder what this place is gonna look like in a year. There's some rare woodpecker I never seen before. Dang it, I wish I had the other phone with the good camera. I believe we sold that one. So I got my trusty iPhone now, guys. Alrighty. So let this be official documentation that by the middle of April, even the oak trees, the last thing to grow leaves, are pretty thick and full of leaves. And so are all the maples and all the other trees around that are looking pretty green. And you'd think that this was July would look no different. So yeah, I'd say from mid-April to as late as even early November possibly, the forests look completely green. So here we go, year 2. Let's see what this rainforest looks like in another year. This is the beginning of my 2nd year here. Cheers.